Should the Warriors be proud of this win?
Absolutely. In my mind, the Warriors should be more proud of this win than any of the other playoff wins because this win took sheer determination. This win, you had to overcome your own shooting woes. This win, you were atrocious and still found a way to get a W. It's one thing to get a W when everybody's shooting 75% from three, 80% from the field, 90% from the free throw line, and you're having a historically good night. Now imagine getting a W when you start 0 for 15 from three, when you only go 9 for 37 from beyond the arc. Now imagine getting a win when Steph Curry starts playing atrociously. Imagine getting a win when Jordan Poole, who usually comes off the bench giving you buckets, does not play in the same form or fashion. Imagine getting a win when you do not lead in the basketball game until less than 1 minute remaining in the basketball game. Now imagine getting a win under those circumstances. When you win under those circumstances, that's far more impressive than when you win if the game is handed to you. So when I kick back and realize that in the playoffs, a win is a win, pretty, ugly, or in between, I take great pride in that victory if I'm a Warriors player or if I'm a Warriors fan, because your first ballot Hall of Fame head coach, Steve Kerr, he wasn't present. Mike Brown, who took over as coach, gets announced to be the Sacramento Kings coach right before the game. So all of a sudden, he is sharing not only his emotional state with the Warriors, but his emotional state going forward with his family and what that may or may not look like. A dub is a dub. Dubs got they dub.
Acho, I love that you said that with your chest, but there's a saying in coaching circles in the NBA when they get together and they, especially when it comes to the draft, or they're coming up with a game plan and they have a guy who's like, definitive, this is what we need to do. And they go, strong and wrong. That is the case here. No. They shouldn't be proud of what? At home, having a chance to put a stranglehold on a series against a team that is missing its MVP and best player, and they should have lost. The Memphis Grizzlies did not play well enough to win, but the Warriors played badly enough to lose. And that is not what we expect from a Warriors team that, as of right now, has a full complement outside of Andre Iguodala. And Andre Iguodala said to me, a piece that's on Fox Sports now, that they are a work in progress, that they haven't had a chance to fully evolve, and that we're going to see that happen through the course of these playoffs. But all that said, this game was there for the taking for the Grizzlies in the final minutes. And they should be no more proud of ending up winning and taking advantage of the Grizzlies' youth, of their inexperience in how to close out playoff games, because it is a relatively new experience for them, than you would if you were, say, an upperclassman on campus and you give a freshman directions to the wrong classroom. You shouldn't be proud that you fooled that freshman into making a mistake. That's essentially what the Warriors did. They took advantage of the Grizzlies' inexperience in the final minutes. Up 93-90, the Grizzlies had three chances to make it a two-possession game and failed miserably. And ultimately were victimized by a phantom foul on Desmond Bane, on Steph Curry on a rebound that finally cooked them. So for all of that, considering who the Warriors are and what we expect them still to be this year, the idea that they eked out this win, a pivotal game at home, and they eked it out playing terribly, there is no way that I can say that the Warriors should be proud of that effort.
I'm with you, Slick. Not proud. Thankful, but not proud. We can't forget that there are ugly wins and there are pretty losses. And this was an ugly win. And you're not proud of an ugly win. You know why? Because like you said in those coaches' circles, same thing for players as well. Coach would come into the locker room after one of those ugly wins. He's like, look, that's not reliable. That's not repeatable. So we're not proud of that performance, right? It's not a reliable effort that we can do it that way again and expect a winning result. It's not repeatable, reliable. I'm not proud. But you know what? You got the dub, as Acho said. But you got to remember, in sports, there are two scoreboards. It's the one that shows on the points, and that's literal. You get the wins and losses. And there's one psychologically. And you let Memphis psychologically get confidence even off of this loss. Think about it. You're missing Ja Morant, who is 38 points a game in this series, and you lose on the road by 3 points. You think you got a little juice left in you. You're like, oh, thought this series was over. And it may be because you're down 3-1, but still, you're going to come out there with a different motivation and energy level that the Warriors could have squashed out if they would have went out there and handled business. But they ain't even start this game like they wanted to handle business. They missed their first 15 three-pointers. You saw in the game they didn't lead until 45 seconds remaining. And in that moment, it wasn't sheer determination that got them through. It was the fact that they prayed and finally got what they wished for. Some brain farts by an inexperienced team in crunch time. That's all it was. If that doesn't occur, that last minute of inexperience being materialized right before our very eyes, Golden State finds themselves tied in the series without Ja Morant in that game 4. So no, just because you go out there and win, they all don't look the same. This one looked ugly.
But if I can beat you sleepwalking, then surely I can beat you sprinting. And the Warriors beat the Grizzlies last night sleepwalking. And that's what it comes down to, Sel, and that's what it comes down to, Slick. The Grizzlies are losing the series in my mind strictly because of inexperience. It's great for the Grizzlies. Only problem, you're not going to gain the necessary experience over the course of this series. Now, on the summer and the offseason after the Warriors send you home, you'll get all the experience in the world. Slick, I love having you on this show because not only are you a fan, you are an analyst. Go back to game 1, Slick. Warriors win by 1 point. Ja Morant has the ball, down by 1, 36 seconds left. Slick, I know you're sitting there watching the game saying, hey, Ja, go 2 for 1. I'm sitting there saying, hey, Ja, go 2 for 1. Commentators at home, Ja Morant, you should shoot the ball before the 24-second mark so that you get another shot at it. But inexperience had Ja Morant and the Grizzlies hold on to the ball until the 19-second mark. They do not score. As a result, it is game over because now they have to play this whole foul game and hope for the best. The Grizzlies' inexperience is costing them this series. They are not going to get the necessary experience over the course of this series. So it does not matter that the Grizzlies might feel good about themselves thinking we only lost by 3 without Ja, because at the end of the day, Ja present or Ja absent is still not going to be enough because they don't have the experience that they need to get through.
Well, Acho, you just got sucked into Marcellus's rabbit hole. Because I'm not going to go there. In that you bought into the idea that the Memphis Grizzlies come away from this thinking, feeling good about what transpired. I'm not quite sure that I can go there because this is now, to your point, this is twice. These are 2 games that they've given away. You can't give away that many games in a series and still expect to win it. So that's why even going home and even if they get Ja Morant back, it's like, look, we had a chance to steal a game and we didn't. And yes, you would expect that the Warriors are not going to shoot that badly again. However, this idea that they're sleepwalking, the idea that the Warriors are almost intentionally playing at this level, I'm not ready to buy into that either. The shooting woes and the overall performance, disappointing or shocking performances, subpar performances by the Warriors is not, they're not, to your point, it's not such an outlier. Going back to your previous segment. Like, we've seen it too many times. I'm beginning to think maybe this is just where the Warriors are. Maybe this is where Klay Thompson is. Maybe Steph Curry is not quite in the same place so that we shouldn't expect that he's going to be knocking down threes with regularity. Maybe Jordan Poole isn't quite ready for this stage. Like, the door is still open there because of the Warriors. So while I'm not ready to say that this close loss is reason for the Grizzlies to feel great about going home and that this is still a series, I'm also not ready to buy in that the Warriors are sleepwalking and now are ready to sprint. It may just be that they can't go as fast as they used to go, and sometimes they're going to look like they're sleepwalking when the truth is that jog that they got going on is about as good as they can do on a regular basis.
Yeah, I mean, look, the series is in critical condition. Certainly the Memphis Grizzlies are facing a near death right now, but there's a different level of confidence even in this place right now down 3-1 than it should have been if the Golden State Warriors were feeling good about themselves. But they're not feeling good about themselves. Sometimes you can advance, but you're still sitting there questioning yourself even in advancement because you're like, we are not playing our level of basketball. And Golden State is just not shooting as well as they normally shoot. Memphis outshot them yesterday. And that's without Ja Morant. So you got to just look at it for those things. It's kind of the self-scouting that happens. Even in the win, you come back and you still got a week of practice, NFL, and coach is working on our issues despite us winning. I think that's going to be the Golden State Warriors right now because even though they may advance, they still know, looking in the mirror, things don't look as great as they should.